Dr. Stella Nemoseso. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. You might be wondering why I'm talking to you today. When I was growing up in Africa, my mother taught me very well. She taught me to eat everything on my plate because people in Cuba were starving. And I practiced this a lot all my youthful years. It was when I was over 335 pounds I realized I'm not feeding Cuba, but I'm feeding me. The pipeline ends here. And at that point, I had to unlearn what I had been taught and relearn what I needed to know in order to be healthy. This issue of health, it is subject at many levels. In the homes, on the streets, in the news, everyone is talking about health, and it is very, very complex. Health is important, more important than even wealth. And when we stop to think about this health issue, how can we achieve optimum health? Optimum health is a matter of balance. Yes, we have to create balance. And we've reached a point in history where we are surrounded by a lot of resources and information on health. Anytime you Google the word health, you get so many hits. I believe that modern day is suffering from a condition where we have more knowledge and less action. I believe that there's a wide gap, the gap which currently exists between knowledge and action, knowing and doing. That's the challenge we face. The question then is, how do we bridge this gap? How do we bridge the gap between knowledge and action, knowing and doing? And our health segments are going to be focusing on bridging the gap which exists between what we know and what we do. And science has advanced so much today that we are spending a lot of resources trying to find answers on how to bridge this gap. So Port Bean is really going to focus on creating that balance, comparing notes. As I shared earlier on, my journey is a little different. My health challenge came from my teaching from my mother to eat everything on my plate because people in Cuba were starving. Took me over 35 years to realize that I don't feed Cuba through my stomach. The pipeline ends here. And it is at the age of 35 I began the journey to health and wellness. And I believe people should not have to wait until they are 35 years old to learn how to care for their body. So we are about trying to reach everyone at any age, at every level. You know, the fact that we've been taught doesn't necessarily mean that what we've been taught is the right thing to do when it comes to health. We are a people who should be receptive to learning, a people who should be able to compare notes. What works for one person might work for somebody else. So up until you can get to a point where you can look at what you're doing or somebody else doing, then the solution of bridging that gap can be found. And I have to say this, as we continue to share with you this message of health, creating balance, comparing notes, we hope to reach many people out there who have this belief that they are feeding Africa today through their stomach. Coming from Africa, I have not seen any food which came through somebody's stomach come to feed the hungry in Africa. Thank you for tuning in today.